Hey, Kevin here, top 100 financial advisor, two-time author, one-time bestseller, and we are here to talk about the stock market. Particularly, I want to discuss both Apple and Disney. Both made headlines today. Really, the entire market made headlines today. Amazon up more than 5%, Facebook up more than 5%. It was a good day in the market. And we've had some good days over the past, I would say maybe 4 to 5 days, maybe a little bit longer, because primarily we have been talking about the hopes of a added stimulus package. Yes, it was on again, it was off again. We'll see what happens. So I am banking what I can now, but really I'm not putting much faith into it until someone signs on the dotted line. So if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. It's really not going to change my investing philosophy. However, the news of the day about these two companies does or may kind of change how you view them. Now, again, how you view them is I'm only reporting the news. So how you view it is how you view it. So I do want to tell you what's going on with moving these stocks more than the overall market. First, we'll talk about Apple. Apple is up 6.4% today, which is very good for a single day. I mean, think about it. 6% in Apple in one day versus the, 0.5% you get in a savings account all year long. That is a big difference. Now, yes, Apple's not going to go up like that every single day, but why did Apple do that? Primarily, they are releasing their first 5G phone, and we also know that Apple tends to do better than the overall stock market in the years that they release a new iPhone. So for those who are long-term investors in Apple, you are likely to be rewarded, and you have been rewarded this year so far. I'm not exactly sure. I actually have the chart up, so we'll see. But the stock is up double digits this year, as it pretty much has been over the last few years. They did take a dip after they did the stock split. That was expected. We did a whole video on why that tends to happen. It just does. Every time they've done a stock split, the stock has fallen, which was another opportunity. But again, it's hard to time that stuff out. It's very hard to time it out, which is why I say just be consistent, do it every month, do it every week, whatever is most comfortable for you. But as you see here, let me scroll down. And here it is. Apple jumped 4.6%, the biggest one-day gain since July 31st. Biggest one-day gain since July 31st, which is huge for Apple. So we'll see what that release is. I don't think they've put out too much information just yet. You can also see down here, I was a little off. I mentioned Facebook and Amazon. They're up 4.3% and 4.8% respectively. Then you have Alphabet and Google falling behind them. So again, great for tech stocks today. It was just a good day across the board. And again, we've had a string of some decent to very good days based on the news that we have today about the stimulus. But again, I'm not really focused on that because just last week, it wasn't going to happen until after the election, and it was on and it was off, it was on and it was off. But like I said, that's going to drive the market over the next several days and weeks until this whole thing is over in 23 days or so. And that still doesn't mean it's going to be over. That just means the main event is over. So we'll see what happens there. Now, moving on to Disney. Disney is now going to reorganize. And first, let me give credit to the investing tutor. He's the one who messaged me about this first, and then it came on Yahoo Finance on my notification end. So shout out to him for alerting me of this story first. We've covered Disney many a times. I'm not the biggest fan of Disney. They are changing some things which may make me a bigger fan. We will see. But right now, they are reorganizing their business and focusing more towards digital. Now, my opinion on it, they should have done this a long time ago. I don't understand why, one, it took so long to launch Disney Plus, especially when they sowed the seeds back in 2014 to 2016 or so. They had bought shares of, they own, I think, if I'm not mistaken, they own a portion of Hulu, so you had an opportunity there. They licensed some stuff to Netflix. A lot of the Marvel shows were shown, and the movies were shown on Netflix. I just don't understand why they just hadn't gone fully digital years ago. Now, COVID, as the CEO says in this actual video here, as the CEO said, COVID did accelerate this, but it was always in their plans. Again, why did you take so long? You knew people were cutting cords. That's why Hulu and Netflix had gotten so popular. Why wait until now? And the reason I'm more frustrated by this is because we haven't really seen anything from Disney from a performance perspective. Yes, they have 100 million subscribers. Yes, Mulan did well. according to them, and they have a bunch of things going in their favor on the digital side. But Disney is still a huge business. They are still paying the bills for Disneyland, Disney World, and all the stuff that people aren't using, aren't traveling, aren't buying, that is hurting their business. Now, could Disney Plus, get big enough to offset that? Possible, but you're gonna have to show me. You're gonna have to show me. And the reason why I say that is because of this. I'm comparing here. Now, Apple is not the best comparison to Disney. Apple's in tech. Apple's got a whole bunch of stuff going that Disney just does not have yet. So it's not an exact equal comparison, but I'm more so concerned about what's happened since this year. This year, Disney is down almost 14%. Down almost 14% compared to the S&P 500, which is close to 7, almost 8% this year. That's not a place that I want to be. Yes, and they released, and let's throw this out there too, they released Disney Plus, last year? So you would expect this to be a bit better. We can go back 2 years, and again, we're not overly concerned about Apple, though, we know Apple is one of the better performers out there. Let me go ahead and hit this. They're up close to 10%. 10% is good, but we also want to compare it to the S&P 500 and see if it's, as good or better. I'm going to do that real quick. And still, you're 17% below the average. That's not a place I really want to bank on. So yes, they do have some hope. I'm not here to say Disney's a terrible company. It's not. It's solid, but I just feel like there are more things that I could lessen my risk and get more money. That's the big thing. When you're investing in an index fund, you're investing in 500, sometimes 1,000, 2,000 companies. I can spread my risk out while still owning Disney in one of those index funds, and get, at least for what we saw, significant amount more money for less risk. You always want to take the least risk for the most money. That's what finance is about. That's what life is about. How much fun can I have by taking the least risk? And how do I want to move that scale left to right, up to down, however you want to see that? So for Disney, great. Y'all are late to the digital game. You should have done this a long time ago. I'm glad that they're doing it now. We'll see where they go. Until it starts to come up more, until it starts to make more sense, that's when we'll, consider putting them on one of the quarterly watch lists. Maybe we'll consider, actually investing in them at that point in time. But right now, why sit here and hope and pray that Disney does what we expect it to do based on what we know, when I've got Apple index funds and a ton of other investments that are out there? Now, some people might be saying, well, why don't I just buy low and just hold on to it? You could have held on to Disney for 5, almost 6 years now, and really not have benefited that much. That's why. When we go back and look at their history over the past 5 years or so, no, it doesn't predict the future, but it gives us a decent idea that it may not do anything, at least right now. We will see. If it goes up, great. If it's consistent, maybe we'll consider it, but you need to show and prove just a little bit more than expectations. We have seen this year what expectations can do, and we expect them to go digital. We expect Disney Plus to do this thing, and then it may or may not. We saw what happened. We expected to see what we thought, expected to see Tesla being added to the S&P 500. We did a video on that, and it did not happen. A lot of expectations aren't always reality, even when those things make perfect sense. So we'll see. All right, so that is it for me. I just wanted to give you just news and notes of the day. If you have a suggested topic or a stock that you want us to cover, make sure that you click the link, share, and comment about, like, hey, can we talk about X, Y, and Z? I'll add it to the list, and we will definitely discuss it at our earliest convenience, assuming nothing ridiculous happens over the next few days in the market. All right, that is it for me today. Let me know if you think the camera setup is better. I think the lighting is better in here too. But again, we're revamping some stuff. This is not really a studio, but eventually we're going to get to that point where we have like a better video setup. All right, so that is it for me. I will talk to you guys later. Bye.